That's right. It is Thursday, March 14th, 2024. Welcome to the Robbie.G Show podcast. We've got a lot of good stuff coming up for you today. We're going to be talking about the NFL free agency frenzy going on. Running backs are taking the spot this year. It has been amazing. We got an updated card for WrestleMania so far. There was 2 award shows over the weekend, last weekend. We'll go over those. Who's coming back to Scream 7? We got potential lineups for Lollapalooza, which will be announced next week. So some predictions, if you will. Tips for the Eclipse coming up in April. We got the Eclipse coming up, and it's like it's the last one for 20 years. We won't see another one for 20 years. And then, of course, we got some fun St. Paddy's Day facts. That's right, it is St. Paddy's Day weekend. Hopefully everybody's having a good Thursday. This show is put on at 5 o'clock in the evening, so your Thursday is over by the time you hear this. I've got my high noon for breakfast right now as I'm recording this. It's a good weekend. St. Patrick's Day weekend. I'm on a 4-day weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. Here's some celebrity birthdays. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. And here's celebrities that share a birthday with you. NBA superstar Steph Curry turns 36 today. Simone Biles, who is now the wife of a Chicago Bear. I'll go over that with you when we talk about the free agents. She turns 27. Quincy Jones, big-time TV show producer, turns 91. Billy Crystal, one of my favorite actors, turns 76. Sammy Sweetheart Giancola from the Jersey Shore, she turns 37. She is my favorite on that show, too. So beautiful, such a good girl. I love her. And then, of course, the one dead celebrity that we talk about is Albert Einstein. Yes, that's right. Albert Einstein would have had a birthday today with you. So you would have been in smart company if your birthday was today. So let's go into it. Here we go. NFL free agency. It has been crazy. Let's talk about it. Alright, let's go through this list of teams and who they've signed and re-signed. NFL free agency has been crazy, and we're only in day, number 2 technically, but really the tampering started Monday, so we're actually in 4 days in already. So let's go over this now. Of course, you're hearing this at 5 o'clock, but it's recorded earlier in the day, so anything that happened after, 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning when the show gets done recording, then it'll be on next week's show when we talk about everything that happened and start getting ready for the NFL draft. So here we go. Arizona Cardinals, defensive tackle Justin Jones got a 3-year, $30.1 million deal. Cornerback Sean Murphy Bunting, 3 years, $25.5 million. Linebacker Mac Wilson got signed to a 3-year, $12.75 million paycheck. Offensive lineman Tristan Colon, 1 year, $1.75 million. Running back DJ Dallas is to be determined with the money. And then offensive lineman Keith Ismail, 1 year, and they don't have the money on there yet. Atlanta Falcons, big splash in free agency, picking up quarterback Kirk Cousins on a 4-year, $180 million deal. That's huge. That's big for the Atlanta Falcons. They definitely needed a quarterback. Justin Fields' name was being thrown out there like he was going to go there. Bears were going to trade him there and stuff, and it never happened. So we'll talk more about Justin Fields in a little bit, but let's go on. Former Chicago Bear Darnell Mooney, wide receiver, signed a 3-year, $39 million deal with the Atlanta Falcons. So that's big for him. He turned down a $30 million deal with the Bears. Honestly, I would not be paying Mooney $39 million for 3 years. I don't think he's worth that kind of money. For a guy who had a 1,000-yard season, but then the next year came back and was Mr. Butterfingers for the Bears, I honestly don't feel like he was deserving of that. So, yeah, that's, it is what it is. Tight end Charlie Warner, 3 years, $12 million. And then re-signed by Atlanta, we have long snapper Liam McCullough, offensive lineman Ryan Newsel, and linebacker Nate Landman. Baltimore Ravens picked up a big defensive lineman in Justin Melmbuki with a 4-year, $98 million contract. They also signed one of the big running backs that I was talking about, Derrick Henry, to a 2-year, $16 million deal. Now, see, I feel the Bears, I'm glad that we got DeAndre Swift, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. But we could have probably got Derrick Henry on a short deal like that. 2 years, $16 million, $8 million a year. That's not bad at all. And then they re-signed in Baltimore wide receiver Nelson Aguilar, re-signed with them. Buffalo Bills, they got edge AJ Esperanza on a 2-year max value of $20 million. Defensive tackle Daquan Jones on a 2-year $16 million deal. They brought back Mitch Trubisky at quarterback on a 2-year $5.25 million deal. Let's see, linebacker Nicholas Morrow, they signed to a 1-year deal, no disclosure on money yet. Offensive tackle Deion Dawkins, a 3-year $60.5 million extension. That's a lot for a tackle. Whew. Guard David Edwards on a 2-year extension. Cornerback Cam Lewis on a 2-year extension. Safety Tyler Rapp on a 3-year extension. And wide receiver Mac Hollins got a 1-year deal with no money attached to it yet. Let's see. Carolina Panthers. Offensive guard Robert Hunt. They way overpaid for this guy. 5 years, $100 million. That's a lot of money and a lot of years for an guard. That's ridiculous. And see, this is what I like about Poles. He does not go crazy with the spending. Everyone's like, oh, the Bears got $60 million. Well, you know what? Why would you want to go through all $60 million when you still got the draft? And then after the draft, there's still free agents available. You see what you need at the end. Honestly, it's kind of ridiculous. Let's see. Guard Damian Lewis, they signed to a 4-year, $53 million deal in Carolina. Defensive tackle Ashawn Robinson, 3 years, $22.5 million. Let's see. Linebacker Josie Jewell, 3 years, $22.75 million. Cornerback Troy Hill on a 1-year re-sign. Long snapper J.J. Jansen on a 1-year re-sign. Wide receiver Deontay Johnson acquired from Steelers in exchange for Dante Jackson and a 2024 7th-round pick swap. And then cornerback Dane Jackson, 2 years, $14.5 million. My Bears, here we go. Got some stuff done. We re-signed Jalen Johnson to a 4-year, $76 million deal after franchise tagging him. Smart move. We weren't sure if we were going to get it done. Got it done. Boom. 4 years. He's re-signed. DeAndre Swift. He signed a 3-year, $24 million deal with the Chicago Bears. We got our running back to go with Khalil Herbert and Roschon Johnson. Our running back room is set. We're not going to have to draft a running back now. Offensive lineman Ryan Bates. We traded for a 2024 5th-round pick. Tight end Gerald Everett. This was huge. This was really huge, and I'm glad. 2 years and $12 million to go on the other side of Cole Kmet. Now we don't have to go after. Everybody wanted us to go after the big tight end. His name's, I think, Brock Turner. I'm glad we're not going after him now. We can use those draft spots for something better. We've got our tight end set. We got 2 of them. Actually, probably 3, I think, on the roster now. But we're only going to use 2 most likely. But there you go. We're good there. Kevin Bernard, 2 years, $15 million at safety. And then we got safety Jonathan Owens. We signed him to a deal. And as everybody knows, Jonathan Owens is now a Bear, and he is the husband of Simone Biles, who we mentioned earlier, who's celebrating a birthday today. So congratulations to him coming to Chicago from Green Bay. We'll take you here, and maybe we'll show Simone like they showed Taylor Swift in the audience at the Chiefs games. Let's see. We re-signed long snapper Patrick Scales to a 1-year deal, and we picked up QB Brett Ripon for a 1-year deal here too. Let's see. The Cincinnati Bengals have wide receiver T. Higgins back for 1 year, $21.8 million. Safety Geno Stone, 2 years, $15 million. Running back Zach Moss with 2 years, $8 million. Tight end Mike Gesicki, 1 year, $3.25 million. The Cleveland Browns got Jameis Winston at quarterback. Edge Zadarius Smith at a 2-year, $23.5 million deal. And linebacker Jordan Hicks, 2 years, $8 million. Nothing really major out of Dallas. They just re-signed their long snapper Trent Sieg to a 1-year deal, and linebacker Eric Kendricks to a 1-year deal. Denver Broncos brought in safety PJ Locke on a 2-year, $7 million deal, and re-signed kicker Will Lutz. Also, wide receiver Lil Jordan Humphrey, they re-signed him to a contract. Let's see, Detroit Lions picked up guard Graham Glasgow on a 3-year, $20 million deal. Cornerback Amik Robinson to a 2-year, $9.25 million deal. And edge Marcus Davenport on a 1-year deal. Now, I'm not naming every single player because it would take forever. We're just going to go over like the main names and some little ones too. Green Bay Packers did pick up a big safety in Xavier McKinney. 4 years, $68 million. They got running back Josh Jacobs on a 4-year, $48 million deal. His name was brought up for the Bears possibly too during free agent frenzy. He ended up going to the Packers, so now they got a big running back. I really would love to see a Packers-Bears rivalry that means something again. And what I mean by means something is where we don't know who's going to win from game to game. It could be either team. But we still say, oh, our team's going to win. But you don't know. Inside, you're like, oh, it could be either or. I want one of those again. Then they also got cornerback Kasan Nixon on a 3-year, $18 million deal. Houston Texans got a trade from the Bengals. Running back Joe Mixon is now a Houston Texan. They also picked up tight end Dalton Schultz on a 3-year, $36 million deal. Edge Danielle Hunter, who the Bears I was hoping was going to get on a 2-year, $49 million deal. Cornerback Mike Ford on a 2-year, $4.5 million deal. And then the Indianapolis Colts. Michael Pittman Jr. is there for 3 years, $70 million. Zaire Franklin, 3 years and $31.26 million at linebacker. And cornerback Kenny Moore on a 3-year, $30 million deal. Jacksonville Jaguars. Gabe Davis is there on a 3-year deal for $39 million. Offensive guard Ezra Cleveland on a 3-year, $28.5 million deal. Edge Josh Allen on a 1-year, $24 million deal. That's huge. They also got Mac Jones in Jacksonville now, acquired via trade for a 2024 6th-round pick. And center Mitch Morris signed a 2-year, $10.5 million deal. Let's see. Kansas City Chiefs made their team a little stronger with defensive lineman Chris Jones on a 5-year, $160 million deal. That's a big defensive lineman payday. Cornerback L'Jarius Sneed on a 1-year, $19.8 million contract. Linebacker Drew Tranquill on a 3-year, $19 million contract. They also signed punter Matt Azaria to the league minimum. Las Vegas Raiders. To me, that doesn't seem like much here. They did pick up Gardner Minshew at quarterback, 2-year, $25 million, and defensive lineman Christian Wilkins on a 4-year, $110 million deal. LA Chargers, biggest one is Will Disley on a 3-year, $14 million deal, and running back Gus Edwards, 2 years, $6.5 million. Let's see. Los Angeles Rams picked up wide receiver Demarcus Robinson, 1-year, $5 million, and cornerback Desarius Williams on a 3-year, $22.5 million deal. They also signed offensive guards Jonah Jackson to 3 years, $51 million, and offensive guard Kevin Dotson on a 3-year, $48 million deal. Who's going to Miami? They got Edge Shaquille Barrett on a 1-year, $9 million deal. Offensive lineman, they re-signed Robert Jones. Center Aaron Brewster on a 3-year, $21 million deal. And linebacker Jordan Brooks on a 3-year, $30 million deal. Minnesota Vikings picked up edge Jonathan Grenard on a 4-year, $76 million deal. Linebacker Blake Cashman on a 3-year, $25.5 million deal. Edge, Andrew Van Gilken on 2 years, $20 million. They also picked up Sam Darnold after losing Kirk Cousins on a 1 year, $10 million deal. Running back Aaron Jones is there for 1 year, $7 million. Vikings are going to be a little bigger this year, I think. I'm not sure how Sam Darnold's going to do there, but when you got Aaron Jones and then you pick up a, somebody like an Aaron Jones, that's big for them. That's a big running back, so we'll see what they do. New England Patriots signed quarterback Jacoby Brissett on a 1 year, $8 million deal. Antonio Gibson, running back, on 3 years, $11.25 million. Tight end Austin Hooper on 1 year, $4.25 million. Let's see. The New Orleans Saints went with linebacker Demario Davis on 2 years on a 2 year deal, and linebacker Willie Gay Jr. on a 1 year, $5 million contract. New York Giants picked up Drew Lock on a 1 year, $5 million deal. Running back Devin Singletary to be determined. Offensive tackle Jermaine Ullamore on a 2 year, $14 million deal. And defensive end Brian Burns, 5 years, $150 million after trade from the Panthers. New York Jets got QB Tyrod Taylor as a backup to Aaron Rodgers on a 2 year, $18 million deal. Offensive lineman Josh Simpson, 2 years, $18 million. Philadelphia Eagles picked up Saquon Barkley, huge big running back for Philadelphia now, 3 years, $37.75 million. They also got quarterback C.J. Gardner-Johnson on a 3 year, $33 million deal. And edge Brandon Graham on a 1 year deal. And then edge Bryce Huff on a 3 year, $51.5 million deal. Pittsburgh Steelers acquired from the Panthers in exchange for Deontay Johnson and a 2024 7th round pick swap, Dante Jackson. They also signed QB Russell Wilson to a 1 year deal, and linebacker Patrick Queen on 3 years, $41 million. So Russell Wilson on a 1 year deal, there you go. Very easy deal for him. See where he wants to go next year. Maybe he'll stay and sign a longer deal. Maybe he'll retire. Who knows? San Francisco edge Leonard Floyd, former Bear, on a 2 year, $24 million deal. George Odom on a 2 year, $10 million deal. Let's see. Seattle Seahawks picked up defensive lineman Leonard Williams on a 3 year, $64.5 million deal. Let's see. Tampa Bay Buccaneers picked up Baker Mayfield on a 3 year, $115 million contract. They kept wide receiver Mike Evans on a 2 year, $52 million deal. And Chase McLaughlin, their kicker, 3 years, $12.3 million. Tennessee Titans picked up Tony Pollard on a 3 year, $24 million deal at running back. Offensive lineman Lloyd Cushenberry on a 4 year, $50 million deal. Washington Commanders, they made a lot of moves so far. Defensive end Durance Armstrong at 3 years, $45 million. Linebacker Frankie Louv at 3 years, $36 million. Running back Austin Eckler at 2 years, $11.43 million. They signed quarterback Marcus Mariota to a 1 year, $6 million deal. Tight end Zach Ertz to a 1 year, $5 million deal. They got guard Nick Alajari at 3 years, $16 million. And kicker Brian McManus, they signed him to a 1 year, $3.6 million contract. Now, obviously, you see out of Washington, they did pick up a quarterback in Marcus Mariota, but most likely as a backup to whatever. He may start and have whatever rookie they draft at their spot to get to sit behind and train the right way, like you should do. Washington and New England, neither one of them made any big quarterback moves for a starter yet, or for anybody. They're still going to be looking for a rookie quarterback. So we'll see what the Bears decide to do. Justin Fields, as of right now, let's see. Let me look him up really quick. Let's see if he's still a Bear. As of right now, he is still a Bear. Oh, and Khalil Mack is restructuring his contract so he can stay with the San Diego Chargers as of now. Nick Bosa still has not done that yet. So, and he still hasn't been released, but he could be released by Friday if they decide not to keep him. Let's see. So Justin Fields right now, still a Chicago Bears. So he's still with the Bears as of now. They did say if they were going to trade Justin Fields, it was going to be by the free agency. We're here. We're straight in the thicket of free agency. He is still a Chicago Bear right now. So we will see what Poles has in mind with the number 1 draft pick. Are we going to keep Fields? Are we going to bring in a rookie? Are we going to do both? Are we going to bring in a rookie and keep Justin Fields and see? Now, here's a scenario that I heard. I'm not a huge fan of this. I either want Justin Fields or I want to bring in like a Caleb Williams, because there's no point in having both. Okay? I mean, I get what people are saying, but if you don't feel that Justin Fields is that great of a quarterback to the point you want to trade him, why would you want him molding the next quarterback in here? That makes zero sense. You bring in somebody like an Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love, Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. Brady had his, you got to do that, and that's how you do it. But obviously, we're not going to be doing that. We're going to throw the rookie right in there, or we're going to have Justin Fields in there. We'll see what happens. There's still a lot of time left, and a trade could happen for Justin Fields at any time. There is the possibility that they're going to keep him till the trade deadline and then see if anybody gets hurt, and then they can trade him for a bigger value, because the team's going to need a starting quarterback right away, especially if guys go down with injuries. So we'll see what happens. Very interesting free agents frenzy going on right now, and next week I will have probably more free agents, because obviously this whole weekend free agents are still going to sign. There's still some notable ones out there. Let's see who those are. So here's the top free agents that are still left now. Note, this was as of yesterday. So some of these guys may be taken already, but these were the ones that were left as of yesterday. Broncos safety Justin Simmons is still a free agent. Cowboys offensive tackle Tyron Smith. 49ers defensive end Chase Young is still out there. Jaguars wide receiver Calvin Ridley has already signed as of yesterday, so he's not on there no more. Cardinals wide receiver Marquise Brown is still out there. 49ers defensive lineman Eric Armstead. Commanders cornerback Kendall Fuller still hasn't signed with anybody. Cowboys cornerback Stephon Gilmore. Buccaneers linebacker Devin White. Defensive end Javanne Clowney from the Ravens, he's still out there. Bengals defensive tackle DJ Reader is still out there. Seahawks linebacker Bobby Wagner is still left out there. Let's see. Corner Xavier Howard from the Dolphins is still a free agent right now. Let's see. Linebacker Eric Kendricks is still out there. So, wide receiver Curtis Samuel is still out there too. So these are still some notable names that are still out there in free agency. And don't forget, they can still release up until, I believe, Friday. So there could be some people that become free agents in the next day and a half. So, I mean, it's a crazy time out there for the NFL. But the NFL is getting a lot of signings. It's been really good so far. Very exciting. The running back room has been crazy right now. I mean, you've had guys going all over. Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, DeAndre Swift. I mean, we've had a lot of running backs go different places. Josh Jacobs. So, I mean, and they're spread out. They didn't go back to their teams. DeAndre Swift is a Bear now. I'm excited to have him here with our running backs. I think it's going to be a great season for them. I think the Bears are going to have a good one. I'm a little concerned still, with our quarterback situation. I would like to know earlier than the draft if the Bears are keeping that pick or not, but we'll see what happens. We'll talk more about the draft coming up in the next few weeks. Let's go into wrestling now. Let's move in to the WWE WrestleMania 40 match card as of right now. I read off some last week, and we have grown since then. Last week it was made official. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins on night one will face The Rock and Roman Reigns in Bloodline Rules. What Bloodline Rules means is this. The Rock explained it. If Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins win, they will sign a contract that says the Bloodline is barred from ringside. None of them are allowed down there. Cody Rhodes will have a shot at finishing his story with a clean win with nobody interfering. If The Rock and Roman Reigns win, which I feel this is going to happen, it's Bloodline Rules, which means that all of them can be down there. Anything goes. No rules. They can interfere anytime they want. But on the flip side, does that mean anybody can interfere on Cody's behalf? We'll see what happens there. So, yeah, that's night one. That's going to most likely be towards the main event. I don't know if it'll main event, but it'll be like maybe second to last match of the night. Kind of like The Rock and Hogan did at WrestleMania 18. They didn't main event it, but they were there. I really feel that the SmackDown Women's Championship match will headline WrestleMania night one. Let's see. And that's night one so far. Night two. Now, I don't know if this is like official yet. I haven't heard any official word on the other matches. This is a definitely official match, though, for night two. Undisputed WWE Universal Championship Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. We know that main event's night two of the match. So we'll see what happens there. And here we go. World Heavyweight Championship, Seth Rollins, who will be doing double duty, just like Roman Reigns and Cody are, versus Drew McIntyre. And then that says night two also. So it looks like we're going to have two night two World Championships. We're going to have both men's championships on the same night, which makes sense. They're not going to have Seth Rollins wrestle on night one both nights. So, yeah, he'll do one or the other. But, yeah. So, and here's 2024 WWE WrestleMania 40 matches without a confirmed date. Io Sky putting her Women's Championship on line versus Bayley. I have a feeling that's going to main event night one. That's what I feel is going to happen. Women's World Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. Now, I have a feeling both women's titles are going to be on the line night one, and then both men's on night two. I think that's how they're going to do it. So I could see maybe have Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch open the show, or you could possibly have Rock. Now imagine this, Rock and Roman versus Seth and Cody opening up night one would be an amazing way. What a banger of a match to put in the opening card of the match. That's going to get the crowd into it and ready for the night. Could happen, but we could also see the opening match be Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch on night one. Intercontinental Championship, Sami Zayn won the six-pack challenge on Raw. He will challenge Gunther. I still have a feeling that we could see Chad Gable added into that match. I still see that possibly happening to make it a triple threat, but we don't know yet. Undisputed, this was announced. An undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship Judgment Day will face 5 other tag teams in a 6-pack ladder match. Unbelievable. That is 6 teams, 12 men in the ring in a ladder match. That's going to be insane. Let's see. So it says right here, the Judgment Day have their plates full. Raw General Manager Adam Pearce and SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis announced a 6-pack ladder match for the tag team titles at WrestleMania 40. 3 Raw teams and 2 SmackDown teams will qualify for the match in the coming weeks. The tag team qualifiers scheduled for the March 18th episode of Raw are New Day versus Alpha Academy, which is Otis and Eriko Tozawa. Now, do you see that? I don't see Chad Gable in that match. So that's why I'm thinking he could be added. I don't think that they're going to beat the New Day, though. But if that happens, I could see Chad Gable going into the Intercontinental match. And then DIY versus the Creed Brothers, and Awesome Truth versus Indus Sher. So that's crazy. Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso. Jey Uso called him out. He hasn't said anything yet. He may respond tomorrow night on SmackDown. We'll see. Maybe he comes to Raw to meet Jay face to face. So we'll see what happens there. But that's most likely going to be a match. United States Championship. Still no confirmed on this, but it looks like it's going to happen. Logan Paul will put his United States Championship online against Randy Orton. And LA Knight has already called out AJ Styles. So we're looking to see if that happens. So as of now, we've got 3 matches not confirmed. Then we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 matches. That's 10 matches so far that are confirmed or not confirmed, but you know all those are going to happen. So WrestleMania is going to be big. We'll be talking about that in the next few weeks because, we're only 3 weeks away from WrestleMania from this weekend. You got, this weekend, you got next weekend, the weekend after. So about 4 weeks away. We're about a month away from WrestleMania. It's going to be huge. We still got matches yet to be called. We're going to see what happens there. Sports-wise, let's see. What else can we talk about really quick before we go into the entertainment section? In Chicago White Sox news, the Sox traded pitcher, right-hander Dylan Cease to the San Diego Padres for right-hander Drew Thorpe, who is the number 4 ranked prospect in the Padres system and number 64 among ESPN's top 100 MLB prospects. They also got right-hander Jaro Arante, the number 7 prospect among San Diego's minor leaguers, and outfielder Samuel Zavala, and right-hander Stephen Wilson. So, White Sox made a trade, got rid of the 28-year-old who was the runner-up for the American League Cy Young Award award in 2022. Sad. I'm not happy with the Sox, and this is why I feel like they struggle every year. They got rid of Tim Anderson, Jose Abreu, Dylan Cease is gone. What do we got? We got prospects, but it's going to take years to build it. And I've been saying this for years. Jerry Reinsdorf, it's time for him to sell the team and retire. Sell both teams. Sell the Bulls, sell the White Sox, and just move on. Because it's just been constant just crap for decades for both teams. Sox haven't been relevant since 2005 pretty much when they won. And of course, the Bulls, when's the last time they were really relevant? During Derrick Rose's little run. But before that, not since the 90s. So, yeah, that's what I would think with that. Nothing else really sports-wise to talk about. Bulls beat the Pacers the other night, 132-129. Bulls are still sitting in the number, let's see. They're sitting right now in the number 9 spot, which would be a play-in tournament game at 32-34, so almost at 500. They beat the Pacers the other night, who are 37-30 in the number 7 spot. So we keep winning. We still have a chance to move up. Obviously, we're 19 and a half games back from first place with the Celtics, but we're really only 3.5 games back from the Heat for the 8th spot. For number 7 spot and number 6 spot, we are only 4.5 games out. So we really still have a shot. There's still a little time left. They don't end till middle of April, towards the end of April. So you still got about another month left of the season. So yeah, I mean, right now they're let's see, 32 and 34. So they're 64 games in. They got 18 games left. You're sitting at a spot right now where you're only 4.5 back from the number 6 spot. If you get out of number 7, if you get into number 6, you don't have to play the play-in tournament. So that's even better. Obviously 7, 8, 9, and 10, they play the play-in tournament now. So, yeah, if you're the Bulls, you aim for that number 6 spot now. Philadelphia's in there at 36 and 29. Bulls would really have to move up. 76ers would have to struggle. If I'm the Bulls, obviously I think we're going to make the play-in tournament because right now we're 3.5 games ahead of Atlanta. As long as we keep winning some of these games, we'll get that spot. And that would put us at a home game, I believe. Is it 7, 8, 9, and 10 that play each other? I don't know how that works. We'll see. We'll talk about that more towards the end of the NBA season. Right now, let's look at the standings. Number 1 in the league is the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference at 51 and 14. Number 2, Cleveland at 42 and 24. Number 3 is the Milwaukee Bucks at 42 and 24. Number 4 is the New York Knicks at 38 and 27. Number 5 is the Orlando Magic at 38 and 28. Let's see, 76ers are 6 at 36 and 29. Indiana Pacers are number 7 at 37 and 30. And the Miami Heat are 35 and 30 at number 8. Play-in tournament teams will be 7, 8, 9, and 10. The Bulls are 32 and 34. And the Atlanta Hawks are 29 and 36 at number 10. In the Western Conference, the Denver Nuggets 46 and 20 at number 1. Number 2 is the Oklahoma City Thunder at 45 and 20. Minnesota Timberwolves at 45 and 21 at number 3. The LA Clippers are 41 and 23 at number 4. Pelicans are number 5 at 39 and 26. Sacramento Kings 38 and 27 at number 6. Number 7, here's the play-in tournament teams. 38 and 27 for the Suns at number 7. The Mavericks at number 8 at 38 and 28. Lakers 5 games above 500 at 36 and 31 in the number 9 spot. Not good at all. And check this out, the Golden State Warriors are number 10 right now at 34 and 31. Worst team in the NBA in the West is the Spurs with a 14 and 52 record in the West, and then the East is the Wizards at 11 and 54. So really bad, really bad for those teams. So let's move on. Let's talk a little entertainment news before we get out of here. We got a few topics to talk about. Let's do it. So as everybody knows, we are going to go over the winners of the Oscar Awards, but what people did not know was that there was an award show, another one. iHeartRadio had their 2024 iHeart Podcast Awards this weekend, and I believe that was Saturday. Notice it did not intersect with the Oscars on Sunday. But here was the winners from the Podcasting Awards. I was not up for an award this year. Maybe in the next few years I'll get the show big enough where I will maybe be up for a podcaster. We'll see. But here we go. Here's my competition. Social Impact Award presented by Audible. Maggie Frayling and Jason Flom won. The Pioneer Award went to Jonathan Goldstein. Innovator Award presented by YouTube went to Rotten Mango. Podcast of the Year presented by The Hartford was New Heights. That was the show with Jason Kelsey and Travis Kelsey. That's their podcast. They won for Podcast of the Year. That's amazing. Good job to them. I'm happy for them with the retirement of Jason Kelsey and the Super Bowl win of Travis. This just adds to a great year for that brother tandem. And yeah. So I'm happy for them. Best Business and Finance, How I Built This. Best Comedy Podcast, This Is Important. Best Crime Podcast goes to Crime Junkie. My wife used to listen to that all the time. They're a really big podcast. Best Pop Culture is Watch What Crappens. That's awesome. Best Food Podcast Award was presented by Planet Oath, and that went to Sporkful. I like that name. Best Wellness and Fitness Award went to On Purpose with Jay Shetty. He's another good podcaster. Best History Podcast went to Revisionist History. Best Kids and Family Podcast went to Good Inside with Dr. Becky. Best Music Podcast went to Popcast, not to the Robbie.G Show podcast. Come on, my old one with music should have won. Best New Show was Pivot. Best Fiction was The Manawak Caves. Best Sports was Club Shay Shay. Best Science is called Radiolab. Best Technology Podcast went to Hard Fork. Best Ad Read went to Smartless. Best Overall Host went to Lacey Mosley from Scam Goddess. Best Overall Ensemble went to New Heights. Again, Jason and Travis Kelce, nice done. Best Political went to Pod Save America. Best TV and Film went to How Did This Get Made? Best Spanish Language, I am not even sure if I can say it. Legendarius. I'm just guessing. Best Advice Inspirational went to We Can Do Hard Things with Glennon Doyle, Abby Wambach, and Amanda Doyle. Best Beauty and Fashion went to Lipstick on the Rim. That does not sound nice. Best Travel went to Atlas Obstructure. Best Green went to Climate of Change. Best Spirituality of Religion went to Woman Evolve with Sarah Jakes Roberts. Best Branded Podcast went to Symptomatic by Novitars. And Best Emerging went to The Really Good Podcast with Bobby Althoff. Best International went to The Imperfects. And that's out of Australia. So yeah, that's that one. That was an award show that was this weekend for iHeartRadio, and I believe there's another one for music next week. So I'll find out about that, and we'll go over the winners of that one on next week's show. And then let's see. So we got the Oscars too. Now they've got iHeartRadio out of the way. I didn't even know iHeartRadio did award shows for everything, but they do. So let's go into the Oscars now. The Oscar Awards were Sunday, and here's all your big winners of the Oscar Awards. Let's start with Best Picture. It went to Oppenheimer. Is that a shock to anybody? Best Directing went to Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer. He beat out Martin Scorsese for that one. Best Actor in a Leading Role went to Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer. They won 7 awards that night. That's amazing. He beat out guys like Bradley Cooper, Paul Giamatti, so that's amazing. Best Actress in a Leading Role went to Emma Stone for Poor Things. She beat out Annette Bening and a couple other people. Best Actor in a Supporting Role went to Robert Downey Jr. For Oppenheimer. He beat out Ryan Gosling, Mark Ruffalo, and Robert De Niro, and Sterling K. Brown. Best Actress in a Supporting Role went to Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. She beat out American Ferrera and Jodie Foster. Best Writing Adapted Screenplay went to American Fiction, written for the screen by Cord Jefferson. They beat out Oppenheimer and a couple other good movies. Best Writing Original Screenplay went to Anatomy of a Fall. Let's see. Best Animated Feature went to The Boy and the Heron. Best Documentary Feature Film was 20 Days in Mariupol. Best International Feature Film went to The Zone of Interest, United Kingdom. Best Animated Short Film is War is Over, inspired by the music of John and Yoko. Best Live Action Short Film went to The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. Best Documentary Short Film went to The Last Repair Shop. Best Cinematography went to Oppenheimer, and that's Hoyt van Hoytem. Best Costume Design went to Poor Things, Holly Waddington. Best Makeup Hairstyling went to Poor Things from Nadia Stacy, Mark Coulier, and Josh Weston. Best Original Song, this was awesome. I am so happy they won this. Phineas and Billie Eilish won from Barbie for What Was I Made For. She beat out, let's see, I'm Just Ken, The Fire Inside, and a few other songs. But I'm so happy for Billie Eilish being an Oscar Award winner. That reminds me of when Eminem won for 8 Mile. That's awesome to see a singer a big known singer write a song and sing it and win, that kind of thing. So that was awesome. Best original score went to Oppenheimer. Best production design went to Poor Things. Best film editing went to Oppenheimer. Best sound was The Zone of Interest. Best visual effects was Godzilla -1. That's it. Those were the awards at the Oscars. John Cena, he showed up naked in a bodysuit. That was funny. And then the shot heard around the world when Trump wanted to think he was a big shot and went and made that comment about how Jimmy Kimmel is a horrible host. And Jimmy Kimmel came right back without this even being wrote down. Went right back and said, "Isn't it past your jail time?" That was amazing. That was awesome. If you haven't seen it, go check out Jimmy Kimmel Oscars. You can see his opening, and then you can see that too. So 2 big award shows were that weekend. We had the Oscars and the iHeartRadio Music Festival. Not Music Festival, Podcast Awards. Who's coming back to Scream 7? Everybody's excited. She did it. Neve Campbell is coming back. We will see Sidney Prescott back in Scream 7. She posted on her Instagram with the script as her picture with her name on it. And here it goes. She said, "Hi all. I'm so excited to announce this news. Sidney Prescott is coming back. It's always been such a blast and an honor to get to play Sidney in the Scream movies. My appreciation for these films and for what they have meant to me has never waned. I'm very happy and proud to say I've been asked in the most respectful way to bring Sidney back to the screen, and I couldn't be more thrilled. Well, actually, I could. While I've been so incredibly lucky to make these films with both the master of horror Wes Craven and the wonderfully talented Matt and Tyler team, I've dreamt for many years of how amazing it would be to make one of these movies with Kevin Williamson at the helm. And now it's happening. Kevin Williamson is going to direct Scream 7. This was his baby, and it's a brilliant mind that dreamt up this world. Kevin is not just an inspiration as an artist, but has been a dear friend for many years. To the amazing Scream fans, I hope you are excited as I am. See you on the set." So yes, Neve Campbell is back as Sidney Prescott after taking a 1-year hiatus during Scream 6. So I'm excited to have her back. I think all horror film people are excited to have her back. I mean, it doesn't feel like Scream without her. The last one was good. I enjoyed it. Jenna Ortega was good in it. But really, it is Sidney Prescott's show. So I'm excited for that. Who else is excited? Let me know in the comments and stuff. We'll talk about that. Let's go into our next topic. We're going to talk about the eclipse. That's right. The eclipse is here. And here is some things to know about what to do during the eclipse. So everybody wants to know, when is the eclipse happening? April 8th is when you'll be able to see it. Let's see. It's going to last. It's going to be the last total solar eclipse that we will see for the next 20 years. That's crazy. So 20 years from now, I'm 43. I'll be 63 next time there is a total eclipse. That is an amazing, amazing thought. So here is some tips on what to do during the eclipse. Obviously, let me look at these tips really quick. I gotta make sure. Hang on 1 second. There's only a couple tips with this. Number 1, do not look straight at it. It could damage your eyes and make you go actually blind, from what I heard. I don't know if that's true or not. I've never done it. There's special glasses that you can buy in the stores, and that so you'll be able to look up at it and see what it looks like. But yeah, never look straight up at the sun. Also, if you want to view it in the best areas, look up the best area to view it in your state. And if you're going to go to wherever this area is, because you'll be able to see it everywhere, but there's better viewing spots everywhere in a state. So if you want to see where that is, then go look it up and go early, because if you want to see this, some people stay overnight at hotels so they could see this entire thing. Do it in advance. There's also places that you can go, like science museums that have stuff, and they'll probably be doing events for it. So go look that up, because if you don't do it soon, you'll never get in. A lot of those places do limited seating for things like that. So make sure that you do that. This is something that you're not going to see for another 20 years. So make sure you enjoy it, because who knows who's going to be here in 20 years, honestly. So, I mean, enjoy it while it's here, because it could be gone before you know it, and you'll never see it again. So definitely make sure you check that out. I'm excited for that. Now we're going to talk a little bit about Lollapalooza 2024. Next Tuesday, they are going to announce the full lineup. So I will have that next week on my show. But here's rumors and lineup predictions for this year's 2024. And the way that they compile this list of possible artists is by rumor mills that go around and other Lollapaloozas. We don't have the only Lollapalooza in Chicago. There's a few other ones. So sometimes they compile this list from other ones too. So here is a list of some artists that they think could be coming through Chicago. Number 1, Blink-182. Probability 100%. Past Lalas they did in 2017. It says in 2022, original Blink-182 frontman Tom DeLonge rejoined the band, reuniting the original lineup alongside drummer Travis Barker and bassist Mark Hoppus. Since then, the punk trio has put out a new record, One More Time, and embarked on a series of arena tours. The latest string of 2024 dates includes just about every major U.S. city except for Chicago. The suspicious gap between shows in Indianapolis and Minnesota that falls over Lolla weekend can only mean that Blink is headed to Grand Park. Now, it's funny because when Blink announced their tour, Chicago was left off that. Now, everybody knows, and I don't care what people say about Chicago, this is one of the favorite cities of almost every band and every sporting event. Wrestlers love coming here. Musicians love coming to Chicago. DJs love coming to Chicago. We are one of the meccas of events. So for us to be left off of that is very strange and very odd. They are going to be in Indiana a few days before that weekend, and then in Minnesota right after that weekend. So they're open that Friday, I believe, and Saturday. There you go. I believe that one of the days you're going to see Blink-182. SZA. Probability 95%, past Lalas in 2015. R&B singer-songwriter SZA headlined the United Center twice in 2023 on her expansive SOS tour, and now she's moving on to the summer festival circuit. The Kill Bill singer is already confirmed at all 3 South American Lollapalooza festivals in March, plus a headlining set at New York City's Governor's Ball in June. She's playing Sunday night at Oshaka in Montreal, but her schedule is clear during the 3 days of Lolla. So there you go. SZA most likely will be on the list too. Justice. 90% probability. Past Lollas 2012 and 2017. Let's see. Renee Rapp. Mean Girls star Renee Rapp won't have any time for media training this summer. She's hitting just about every major event on the festival circuit, including Coachella, Bonnaroo, Boston Calling, and Governor's Ball. Also on the Not My Fault singer's itinerary, a Saturday set in Oshenga, Montreal, which places her close enough to Chicago that we can expect to see her performing inoffensive pop from her 2023 debut, Snow Angel at Lolla. She's an 85% probability, never been here before. Hosier. He's a probability of 80%. He's been here twice, 2014 and 2019. He'll be in the area. Let's see. Martin Garrix, probability 70%. He's been here in 2014 and 2016. Like most DJs, he's going to be having a busy summer ahead of him, bouncing between sets in Las Vegas and Ibiza. But he is making time for the weekend of festival dates in Canada that coincide with Lollapalooza. So a lot of them are going to be in Canada, which is right near, not far from Chicago, if you think about it. A quick 7-8 hour drive. So yeah, we could see him. Doja Cat, 60% possibility. She had her past Lolla canceled in 2023. Doja Cat was set to perform at Lolla in 2022, but was forced to cancel the gig to recover from emergency tonsil surgery. So there you go. She might be here. Marshmallow, he's 55% probability. He's been here in 2016 and 2021. Marshmallow is coming to Chicago in early April, but he's performing a special duo set along dubstep producers Sudden Death. So he could be here for Lala. We'll see. The Killers, they're a 50% probability. They've been here 4 times, 2005, 09, 13, and 2017. So we might see the Killers show up on there. And let's see. Post Malone, he's a 40% probability. He was just here a couple of years ago. We know Posty loves Chicago, so he may come. Casey Musgraves, she's a 0% probability. She was here in 2019, but I guess people love the rumor mill with her, so they put her on there. And that's it. So those are some. We will find out the official lineup on Tuesday, so I will have that next week on my show. I'm not sure if I'm recording it Thursday or Friday next week, but I'll have the full lineup for you by then. And now let's see. One last thing I want to talk about. It is St. Paddy's Day weekend. And what would St. Paddy's Day weekend be without some little bit of fun facts about the holiday for all you St. Paddy's Day lovers like me? So let's do it. Let's see. 10 St. Patrick's Day facts you never knew before. You might know some of these. St. Patrick was actually British. Although he's one of Ireland's most celebrated figures, Patrick was born around the year 390 in what is now England, Scotland, or Wales. His real name was Mawen Sakat. Yes, you read that correctly. Mawen Sakat was his name until he changed it to Patrick when he became a bishop. March 17th is not St. Patrick's birthday. St. Patrick's Day observers who might have thought that they are celebrating the saint's birthday will be surprised to learn that March 17th, 461 AD is actually the day he died. So we're not celebrating St. Patrick's birth, we're celebrating his death. A lot of people didn't know that. Let's see, the first St. Patrick's Day parade happened in America, not Ireland. This is interesting, this fact. The first parade took place in New York City in 1762. With an increase of Irish immigrants entering the United States, St. Patrick's Day quickly became a widespread holiday. According to Metro New York, approximately 150,000 people generally participate in the New York City parade each year, and around 2 million people come out to watch. St. Patrick has no snakes to banish. Legend says that St. Patrick drove Ireland's snakes into the sea, purging the land of all evil. However, research contradicts this tale, indicating that snakes never inhabited the Emerald Isle, as the entire island was once covered in ice, and there were no fossil evidence of snakes in the region. It used to be a dry holiday. Man, this'll mess up all you drinkers that go out on St. Paddy's Day. St. Patrick's Day was considered a religious holiday in Ireland for most of the 20th century, so all pubs would close on March 17th. Once it became a national holiday in 1970, everything changed and pubs became a go-to spot for many to celebrate. And we've all done it. I've been out on it too. In fact, I'll be drinking on Sunday, but at home, having fun at my house. Everyone should be wearing blue, not green. Blue was actually the color that was most associated with Patrick, and green was considered unlucky. Blue is still considered symbolic of Ireland, so how did green become the go-to hue for those who didn't want to get pinched? Historically, green has been the color that's been linked to a series of Irish rebellions that took place in order to gain independence from the English crown. The color stuck once waves of Irish immigrants made their home in America and began wearing green and carrying the Irish flag to show their pride for their home country. The shamrock was not originally used as a teaching tool. Many believe that St. Patrick used the 3-leaf clover to teach others about the Christian Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, but that hasn't been proven to be true. However, the number 3 was a sacred number in Irish mythology, so it does make sense for the shamrock to hold that connection to the Holy Trinity. There are no female leprechauns. Ever wonder why you've never seen a lady leprechaun? The answer is they don't exist. There has been no record of female leprechauns. And what's even more interesting is that leprechauns are considered to be part of the fairy family. Some have even said that the leprechauns are the rejected fairies who have been ousted by the fairy community, which explains why they're usually described as grouchy creatures prone to mischief. Corned beef and cabbage is an American invention. Yes, it's true, the classic St. Patrick's Day dish, made with chopped meat, potatoes, and fried onions, didn't originate in Ireland at all. While ham and cabbage were traditional Irish fare, corned beef became a more affordable alternative for Irish Americans. And here's a fun fact. Despite the name, there's no corn in corned beef. The term corned actually refers to the sizable grains of salt historically used to cure meats known as corns. So there you have it. There's some fun facts about St. Patrick's Day, and that is this weekend. If you're going out, be careful out there. It's going to be a crazy one, just like always. And it falls on a Sunday, so people are going to be drinking probably from Saturday at midnight all the way till the end of Sunday night. So make sure you go out there and have fun, but do it responsibly. Here's my top 10 list. I want to give a big shout out to my buddy Corey Zelenka, who I went to high school with. I posted on my Facebook page, which you can come and join, by the way, if you're listening to this. Just go down to my show links at the bottom, and you'll see all my social medias. You'll see all where you can find me, and go and follow me on those, and then you can hear it too. I put out yesterday, I needed help with top 10 lists because it's not easy to come up with all of them on your own. So some of the time it's easier to be like, okay, you guys give me a top 10 list and I'll do my top 10 of that. So my friend Corey Zelenka was the first one, so he got priority over it. He wanted 80s and 90s cartoons. So here's my top 10 list for that. Now remember, this is my top 10 list, not the top 10 of all time. So yours may be different. The all-time one might be different, but these are the top 10 ones I love to watch. Let me know in an email or a comment on social media, somewhere on TikTok or wherever. Let me know which shows, which cartoons you like the best. So here's my top 10 list. 80s and 90s cartoons. Number 10, DuckTales. Used to love that cartoon. Number 9, Garfield. That was another one of my favorites. Number 8 was Chippendale's Rescue Rangers. I still to this day, I love Chippendale. Number 7, Inspector Gadget. How could you not love that show? Number 6 was the Transformers. Gotta love Optimus Prime. Gotta love them all. Number 5, The Real Ghostbusters. I was a huge Ghostbusters guy. Still am. Excited for the movie coming out next weekend. So we'll see. But yeah, The Real Ghostbusters came in at number 5. Number 4, G.I. Joe. Go Joe, baby. Gotta love G.I. Joe. Number 3 was He-Man. I like She-Ra too, but she didn't make the top 10 list. Number 2, Thundercats. Oh, that's my second favorite. And my number 1 favorite, and I think a lot of people will concur with this, some might not, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's my other favorite one. So let me know what your favorites are. I'm going to do a TikTok video today that I'm going to release after the show. I just might release it anyway early. But you'll see it up there, so make sure that you go check that out. And let me know in the comments on here. Email me wherever you're listening to this, whether it's YouTube or wherever. If you can leave a comment on there. Let me know if your list is different from mine, or if your favorite is also the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'll see everybody next week. We're going to talk about the iHeartRadio Music Awards, Lollapalooza lineup, more free agents that sign over this weekend. We'll talk a little bit of NBA and NHL with the playoffs around the corner. We'll see where everybody stands with that, kind of like we did today. But yeah, and that's it. So I'll see everybody later. Happy St. Patrick's Day weekend. If you're going out this weekend, please drink responsibly. Don't go out there and drink and drive. Don't end somebody's life over a party. It's not worth it. And it's not worth it to end your life either over that. So have fun. Go out there and have a good time. But do it safe. You drink, you drive, you lose. I'll see everybody next week. Have a great weekend. Enjoy it, and I'll see everybody next week. Peace.